On March 28, 2025, a monstrous earthquake ripped through the heart of Southeast Asia, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. The 7.7 magnitude quake, with its epicenter near Mandalay, Myanmar's second-largest city, struck at the heart of the day, catching millions off guard. The earth shook with a violence that terrified even those accustomed to the occasional tremor. Buildings swayed, walls crumbled, and the ground beneath seemed to open up. The initial shock was just the beginning of the nightmare. A series of aftershocks, some as powerful as 6.4 magnitude, continued to rattle the region, compounding the damage and sowing panic among the survivors. The shallow depth of the earthquake, a mere 10 kilometers below the surface, amplified its destructive power, turning concrete and steel into deadly debris. The earthquake's impact was felt far and wide, but it was Myanmar and Thailand that bore the brunt of its fury. In the blink of an eye, bustling cities were transformed into disaster zones, and the lives of countless people were irrevocably altered. Myanmar, still grappling with political turmoil, found itself facing a natural disaster of unimaginable proportions. The quake's epicenter near Mandalay turned the once vibrant city into a scene of utter devastation. Buildings, some ancient and some newly constructed, crumbled under the sheer force of the tremors. The iconic golden spires of the city's pagodas, symbols of resilience and faith, lay shattered amidst the rubble. The death toll in Myanmar soared past 140, with over 700 injured, and the numbers continued to climb as rescue workers desperately searched for survivors trapped beneath the debris. Hospitals, already stretched thin by the ongoing pandemic and political instability, were overwhelmed with the injured. The need for blood, medical supplies, and skilled medical personnel became critically urgent. Among the most horrifying incidents was the collapse of a major monastery in Mandalay, a place of worship and sanctuary for countless people. The earthquake also claimed vital infrastructure, with at least 2 bridges, including one on a crucial highway, collapsing under its force. Adding to the chaos, a dam in Mandalay burst, unleashing floodwaters into the lowlands and compounding the already dire situation. As the dust settled and the true extent of the disaster became appallingly clear, rescue efforts began in earnest. First responders, many of them volunteers, worked tirelessly, racing against time to pull survivors from the wreckage and tend to the injured. The lack of heavy equipment and the sheer scale of the devastation hampered their efforts, turning every rescue into a desperate struggle. The Myanmar military, often criticized for its role in the country's political crisis, took charge of the rescue operations. Soldiers, alongside ordinary citizens, formed human chains to remove debris and search for signs of life beneath the rubble. The earthquake, in a strange way, seemed to offer a moment of unity in a nation deeply divided. Despite their best efforts, the rescuers faced overwhelming odds. The lack of electricity and communication in many areas made coordination difficult. The constant threat of aftershocks added to the danger, forcing rescue teams to suspend their operations at times. The situation remained dire, with every passing hour diminishing the chances of finding survivors. The international community responded swiftly to the disaster in Myanmar. The United Nations pledged $5 million in immediate aid, and various NGOs and aid organizations mobilized their resources to provide essential supplies and support. However, getting aid into Myanmar, a country with a history of isolation and bureaucratic hurdles, proved to be a significant challenge. The military junta, facing international pressure and the enormity of the crisis, announced that it would accept international aid. This decision, while welcomed by many, also raised concerns about transparency and whether the aid would reach those who needed it most. The international community faced the daunting task of providing aid in a politically charged and logistically challenging environment. The need to balance humanitarian concerns with political considerations added another layer of complexity to the already daunting task of disaster relief in Myanmar. Section 5, Bangkok in chaos, a city shaken to its core. While Myanmar bore the brunt of the earthquake's wrath, neighboring Thailand was not spared from its destructive power. In Bangkok, a bustling metropolis of over 10 million people, the quake triggered panic and chaos. Skyscrapers swayed ominously, sending office workers fleeing into the streets, fearing for their lives. The city's iconic landmarks, temples, and towering structures, symbols of Thailand's rich history and modernity, shook violently, reminding everyone of the unpredictable power of nature. The usually vibrant streets fell silent, replaced by the sounds of sirens and the frantic shouts of people trying to reach loved ones. The earthquake exposed the vulnerability of even the most modern cities to nature's fury. The chaos and fear that gripped Bangkok served as a stark reminder that beneath the veneer of modernity, cities are fragile ecosystems, susceptible to the forces that shape our planet. Section 6. Searching for survivors. The aftermath in Bangkok. As the aftershocks subsided and the initial panic gave way to a grim reality, Bangkok began to assess the damage. The city, though spared the widespread destruction that ravaged Myanmar, had suffered significant casualties and damage. The death toll in Bangkok reached 10, with 16 injured, and a heart-wrenching 101 people reported missing. The most devastating incident in Bangkok was the collapse of a 33-story building under construction near the bustling Chatuchak Market, a popular weekend destination for locals and tourists alike. The collapse trapped an unknown number of construction workers and shoppers beneath tons of concrete and steel. Rescue workers, using sniffer dogs and heavy machinery, worked tirelessly to reach those trapped, their efforts hampered by the instability of the remaining structure and the constant threat of aftershocks. The earthquake also brought Bangkok's public transportation system to a standstill. The city's elevated rapid transit system and subway shut down as a precautionary measure, leaving commuters stranded and adding to the sense of disruption and uncertainty. Section 7. Tremors across the border. China feels the impact. The earthquake's tremors extended far beyond the borders of Myanmar and Thailand, reaching into southwestern China. The border city of Ruili, a bustling hub of trade and tourism, suffered significant damage with reports of injuries and structural damage. The shaking was felt strongly in Mangshur, another border town, causing widespread fear and prompting evacuations. The impact on China, while less severe than in Myanmar and Thailand, highlighted the interconnectedness of the region and the far-reaching consequences of natural disasters. China's prompt response, offering aid and support to both Myanmar and Thailand, underscored the importance of regional cooperation in times of crisis. The earthquake served as a stark reminder that natural disasters respect no borders, and that international cooperation is essential in responding to such events and mitigating their devastating consequences. Section 8. A long road to recovery. The aftermath and challenges. In the aftermath of the devastating earthquake, both Myanmar and Thailand faced the daunting task of rebuilding shattered lives and communities. The road to recovery promised to be long and arduous, fraught with challenges and uncertainties. The immediate priorities were clear: rescuing survivors, providing medical aid to the injured, and offering shelter and support to those who had lost their homes and livelihoods. However, the long-term challenges loomed large. Rebuilding shattered infrastructure, from roads and bridges to hospitals and schools, would require immense resources and coordination. Addressing the psychological trauma inflicted on survivors, especially children, would be crucial for the long-term well-being of the affected communities. The earthquake also highlighted the need for better disaster preparedness and response mechanisms in the region. Investing in early warning systems, strengthening building codes, and conducting regular disaster drills could save countless lives in the future. Section 9. Hope amidst the ruins, stories of resilience and aid. Even amidst the devastation and despair, stories of hope and resilience emerged from the ruins. Ordinary people, their spirits unbroken by the tragedy, displayed extraordinary courage and compassion. Neighbors helped neighbors, sharing food, water, and shelter. First responders worked tirelessly, risking their own lives to save others. The international community, touched by the scale of the disaster, responded with an outpouring of support. Aid organizations, both local and international, mobilized resources, sending medical supplies, food, and essential items to the affected regions. Volunteers from around the world poured into the disaster zones, offering their skills and time to assist in the relief efforts. The earthquake, while a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature, also revealed the inherent goodness and resilience of humanity. The stories of courage, compassion, and selflessness that emerged from the ruins offered a glimmer of hope in the face of unimaginable tragedy. The road to recovery would be long and arduous, but the spirit of humanity, united in its determination to overcome adversity, offered hope for a brighter future.